Are you still on the fence? What are you waiting for? Go to AmericanDreamTrading.com and get signed up right away for the Gold VIP membership, where Mark McSee provides you with the latest news, updates, company profiles, economic calendars, so much more. Everything that you need to make an informed decision on how to invest your hard-earned money. Go to AmericanDreamTrading.com and get signed up today.
$8,500 I'm up for the day now, and it's 10:19. So less than an hour, $8,447.43. Look at NVIDIA. If you guys watch NVIDIA, Tesla, and Apple, you see the way they push up, and you see SPY move up a little bit, and it's not like driving it a lot. That tells you that the second NVIDIA, Apple, and Tesla breathe, meaning slow down or pull back, it will knife drop SPY because it's not pushing it up. Does that make sense? So I use all of this.
Brandon Kazi here. I've been with the group now for about 2 months. The amount that I've learned in 2 months is more than I've learned in years of dabbling in crypto, Forex, and penny stocks on myself. This will change my life. I know it. And I thank you for it. And anybody that's thinking about joining, the community is great. Do it.
Welcome to the Aftermarket. American Dream Trading. You have entered the Aftermarket. AmericanDreamTrading.com. Welcome. You are now in the Aftermarket.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to American Dream Trading's The Aftermarket Live Chat and Watch Party. I'm your host, J&J Video Reacts, and this is the stream that we created, us traders, for you traders to just kick back, relax, let your hair down, and basically decompress after the market. And share with us all of your secrets, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all of your temptations. What were you tempted by today? That's what I want to know. That's what we want to get to the heart of tonight in the Aftermarket Stock Lounge. First of all, we've got 3 links down there for you guys. We've got one of the very first important one, AmericanDreamTrading.com. If you notice down there, we've got a link that says if you buy 6 months of the VIP membership, you will get 6 months free of the upgrade of the VIP Gold. Now, let me tell you what's included in that. In the VIP membership, you get access to the Zoom call for 12 hours a day from 4 a.m. where we've got Nate, Mark, myself, Ange, Aaron, a lot of people trading in the pre-market, teaching you support and resistance, L2 training, getting you dialed in with shares so that you can start from the beginning with the basics and get them down. Strategies like waiting in the weeds, okay? All of that is there in the pre-market, but you got to be a VIP member to get access to it. Also, you also get access to the Trading View indicators. You get those for free in the VIP. You have one-on-one type style training with coach from 8 a.m. in the morning all the way up to 8:45. And I'm telling you, that is one of the best training sessions that you can get, because he allows you to ask questions and interact. And he doesn't just trade and then you just get to watch him. No, he actively not only does call outs, but helps us to trade what we're doing, helps us get in trades, out of trades, and everything in between. Paper trading accounts, you name it. So, hey, Coach is a 32-year stock market veteran, Chad W. Christian. If you have not heard of him, you should. You should know who he is. Okay. He has trained us how to trade, not chase call outs. So, Coach, thank you. We appreciate you and we love you, brother. Second, then there's the VIP Gold. So in addition to everything that I just mentioned, now with the VIP Gold, you also get Mark McSee's fabulous newsletter, which has more news in there than any source you could think of. Weekend training with David Yanez, which is like a one-on-one with David every weekend. You get breakout rooms. You get the mastermind sessions where you don't have to pay an additional fee to have those. So, hey, you get 6 months with the VIP right now. You get 6 months of the Gold absolutely free. Not to mention, get signed up for the mentorship. Make sure you're a VIP member before you do, though. Get that basic training in there first. And then Coach has got an advanced mentorship program for those VIP members who have mastered those strategies, who have mastered the basics and are looking for even extra training. So that's only $500 a month. It is the mentorship where you get an hour where you get to pick Coach's brain. Very, very intimate setting. Not a whole lot of people in that group. So it makes it a lot more intimate and a lot more, that you can get out of that. So get in with the mentorship. All right. We've got a lot of people that have had some successful things happen to them just as a result of being in there just a couple of weeks. I know I have. I never was able to do, excuse me. Woo. I was never able to do straddles and things like that. And a little bit of dust. But after being in the after being a mentee in the mentorship program, I'm telling you, I'm starting to do them more and more, and I have an understanding of them that I didn't have before I was in that class. So thank you, Coach, for that. Let's see what else we got. We've got, of course, the Restream link. Come on up here. Talk to us about your temptations. That is what tonight is about. Because I know you've been tempted. I know you have, because I have. There are things in trading that we should not be doing, that we do anyway, because we feel like we can get away with it, or we can ease it in there, or do it in a way that's like stealth, that we're not going to get caught, or it's not going to burn our asses. And we end up getting burned. Stop falling for the trading pitfalls. All right. If that's a stock that you know you shouldn't be in, don't be in there. All right. If you're trading with bill money, don't do that. If you are, chasing trades and over trading and revenge trading and all those good things, let's talk about it. Okay. Come on up here on the panel. Be transparent, but pour all of your temptations out. Did you fall victim to the temptations today? Did you? It's all good, because that's why we're here. We are also a support group. Coach has created such an amazing community and family in American Dream Trading, and we also are a support group. If you trade and you had a bad day in the market, come talk to us. That's what we can do. We can pick apart the trade right from the inside out and help you with things. So come on up here. Use that Restream link. Both the AmericanDreamTrading.com and the Restream link are all pinned right to the top, right there for easy access. Come on up here and talk to me about your day. And then the last link in there is, or should be a little bit further down, is yours truly's tip jar link, guys. And I can't tell you enough that that also helps me keep the lights on here. So while tips are not absolutely necessary, they are absolutely appreciated. And I appreciate you. So thank you for doing that. And yeah. So let's get started. Let's figure out who's tempted and what temptations are there. All right. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully nobody got bit today. All right, we got a treat. It is the man, the myth. It is Palm Coast. Hey, Palm, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Don?
I'm good. How are you?
How did your trading go today?
I mean, it went well. It went well. I went on ahead and I got an IWM. I waited for it to channel for about 15 minutes. I thought it was going to channel all day long because I tried to straddle again, and it finally picked a side. And well, it picked two sides. It went up quite a bit and then it went down quite a bit. But I didn't hang out for the put. I just went on ahead with the call and got out at the top. Made myself a couple dollars today. So yeah, it was good. It worked out. How about you?
Very nice. Uh, good. I was watching a couple other things. Jumped in Tesla a little bit late. Took a small position in that. I kind of hopped around a little bit today.
Did you? Yeah, I heard a little bit of that. Let me turn this music down just a little bit. Where are we? There we are. And I hear someone else that has jumped in. Let's see who that is. All right, it looks like, is that James L or is that's F2? Hey, F2, come on in, buddy. Let's get you in here. Hey, what's up?
How you doing, bud?
Doing great, guys. How are you all?
Good, good.
Good weekend, good day today.
Yes, definitely had a good day today. How about yourself?
I did. Traded during my lunch break and done very well with TSLL and increased my account about almost 8%. So
Woo!
I call it a good day. So
Hell yeah!
Good job, man.
Way to go.
Gotta give you the bell on that one. 8%. That's a huge. See, and for those of you in smaller accounts, TSLL, if you can't afford Tesla, TSLL is a great option for you guys. So when Tesla's going up, you don't have to miss out on Tesla. TSLL is the perfect ticker for you guys. Wow.
And it's leveraged. So
Now, when you say leveraged, what to explain to them what that means?
TSL, if I'm not mistaken, is 2x, right? So
I think it is.
It's designed to perform. It's traded by. It's basically a small ETF that is single stock oriented, and then it's usually options traded, and it's designed to perform at twice the results of Tesla itself. So you'll see a bunch of like Soxel and some of the other ones, leveraged ETFs. Quite often they're designed to perform at 2 and 3 times. So for options traders, that's pretty easy for skilled options traders. But it's nice that the average person can get in and buy, a single ticker like that and get better performance than what the actual security itself is doing. So
there you go, guys. For all of you new traders, Aaron, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing wonderful. Another beautiful day after the crazy storm that we've been having every night, but
I heard you talk about that this morning. So
absolutely crazy.
You didn't get any damage, right?
No damage. I mean, just the wind blew down a couple trees that I have in pots, and it's just the intensity of the storms. It's just very interesting. But yeah, did good today in the market. Hit my goals plus a little bit. I think I doubled what my goals were, so that's always good. And just using less money to make more, and which is great. I don't have to go through all my buying power, and I can just sit on it. And which goes to the show of tonight, just kind of restraining yourself from making trades, even if you do have buying power, but not to get yourself in positions that, later in the day that don't work out the way that you want to. So it's just building the discipline to keep my goals set and to stick with them and to keep on track with that and build that consistency around that. So
now see, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that does probably tempt people. I know it's tempted me in the past where I've used just, maybe half of my buying power, and I see there a couple hours has gone by, I've made a little bit of money, and lo and behold, wait a minute, I still got $100 worth of buying power left. Let's see what's out there. What can I get in? You know what I mean? And then end up giving some back that I made earlier. So, that's one of the temptations, using up all your buying power, even when you don't have to, and it all goes back to discipline. You gotta learn how to hold some back. You don't have to constantly be trading all day, especially if, like Aaron said, he hit his goal. There was no need for him to go back in and overtrade, you know? So that is one thing that you got to be careful of. Hit your goal and then cut it off. Don't if you don't have to, don't use all your buying power, and certainly don't force a trade. Would you guys agree with that?
100%.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So another temptation, and I think that a lot of new people tend to do this a lot. SPY is like the candy that everybody wants to eat. And there are some people that should stay away from SPY, namely brand new traders. They hear us talk about SPY a lot, and some people that say, oh, SPY is easy. Well, a lot of those people took a lot of bumps and bruises to be able to say that. They didn't just go into SPY and know how to trade it. SPY can be very volatile. It can be very unpredictable. Christina said it really well one time. It does have patterns, but it is still unpredictably predictable, or predictably unpredictable, however you want to say it. So you got to be careful trading tickers that are volatile and you don't really have it charted out, and you're just hearing call outs and people making money off of it, and you want to jump into it. What do you guys think about that?
SPY is notorious for going into a position that looks like a good setup and then whipsawing the opposite direction and it'll even go a little bit in that direction. It'll go a little, it'll establish a pattern and then just out of the blue, like it doesn't necessarily follow something in the market or whatever, but it absolutely is there to rip your contracts and take your money. So just understand it's not even bashful about it. So
yeah, for sure. SPY is one of them. I didn't get in Tesla today because Tesla can do that. I love what Nana says. Tesla's doing Tesla things. Now when it flies to the upside or it flies to the downside, there have been days where you can take some good money out of Tesla, and it'll just go in one direction for you. IWM can be volatile. It can be very tricky sometimes. It can be very choppy. And one of the temptations that I've heard is people will get into something and then they find that it whipsaws against them. If you see that stock is choppy, again, don't force trades, and don't get hit by the head fake. Get in, get out, especially if you're trying to scalp it, So that was a really, really good point.
Yeah, when the broader indices are pretty much definitely under 100 points in one direction or the other, or less than 150 points, then you're going to see a fair amount of chop in the market, because a 50-point move on a relatively flat day can be a third of the movement for the entire day, and that can send stocks in kind of a tizzy, or send things back to VWAP pretty quick from either direction. So flat days, you just got to watch. It's either going to set up for I call it channels or chainsaws. So you don't know what you're getting. You might be trading your way through a channel, but that's what stops are for, and those are scalp type trades, and it's much harder to find productive trends, because even when a stock moves in a given direction on a relatively flat day, if it's trending up or trending down, it can take so long to get in a certain direction, and the price action that you see in your contracts will vary so much along that path that you just need to make sure that you've got your channels set up, and then by the time it's touched one side of the channel 3 times or more, just be prepared that it's going to try to redirect at some point, because we all know stuff doesn't stay in a channel all day. It's extremely rare when it does. So
I hear you talk about those traders that you call the grinders, and usually when you see a pattern form or you see a channel form, that's a temptation too, to try to see if you can jump in there and scalp it, especially if you don't have any experience. But you got to leave that to the grinders. They know what they're doing. And if you don't know how to chart those things out, meaning to establish the support and resistance levels, and then learn to go between them quickly, you have your mechanics down, get in and out, you can get eaten up by chop.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Especially stuff that is short term. So now tomorrow we're going into Thursday and Friday. So your contracts are going to start experiencing a lot of theta decay pretty quickly. So you need to be mindful of what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you get in past, like, say 12:30 with a Friday expiry, if you want some consistency, you may want to go out a week. Especially if the market is choppy, it'll flatten some of that out for you. But otherwise, just know your day parts.
I was trying to describe theta to somebody today, and I said theta is basically a stock's way of aging until it dies.
Yeah, that's a great way to that's a great way to say it. I mean, and that's another reason why beginner traders shouldn't be trading SPY contracts. They start off around the 2 to 250 mark, somewhere 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, depending on gamma. And then by the end of the day, if you can be one in the money, and it's worth about 60 cents. So that first hour to an hour and a half, it'll hold some value, and then by 12:30, by noon or 12:30, you need to be rolling into the next day, because especially if you're going to wind up riding something. So when the market's flatter, the possibility of having to ride it for longer to get the desired result is significantly increased, and that means that you're going to be risking you're going to be risking decay. So as opposed to a day that's decidedly up or decidedly down, you can get some directionality out of it, or you can see broader, crisper moves and stuff.
What other temptations, in you guys' opinion, has come up in your trading?
Ooh, I would say over trading.
All of them. All of them.
Yeah.
One point or another, all of them. But yeah, I agree with Palm. Over trading. Recently, just making sure that I don't overtrade after I've hit my goals or got to a point where I still love the charts and I still love the game. So whether it's going over to paper, just making some small positions and start training on stuff. But even then, over trading, seems to be a lot of people's problems. Just wanting to make that extra buck, getting a little too greedy, or trying to regain the losses that they had earlier in the day, and not sticking with the process. I mean, trading is a very process-oriented game, and we need to create a process for ourselves, create goals, create boundaries, and make sure that we follow them, because that's the way to success, is just that consistency, following and being disciplined doing it. So
what about share traders who get tempted by options? People who have never tried options before being tempted by options. And
moving too quickly without building the process first because of other success. I mean, comparison is a great way for failure. Comparing yourself, even in life, comparing yourself to others or comparing yourself to other people's success isn't always your success. And I mean, it's great for inspiration, but we have to remember how a lot of us got here, and it wasn't overnight. A lot of us have been trading for a long time and put a lot of hours into it. And I see new traders just wanting that quick success, that quick turnaround where, okay, I've been here for a week, why isn't things working out? And, I mean, some people do have success pretty quick, but most of them don't. That's why 98% of retail traders fail, is they just don't have the discipline to stick with it and build that consistency and build that knowledge to be able to pick apart, like Palm Coast does. I mean, he just analyzes and can pick it apart and have it. I mean, it's an art form, and it doesn't come overnight. It takes a lot of time and dedication to do that. So
absolutely. And one way to get your to get yourself humbled real quick is to jump in the strategies that you have no idea what they are, just because you hear somebody else talking about them. piggybacking off of what Aaron said, you hear Christina's doing a covered call. So, hey, I trade a lot like her. I think I'll try a covered call too. Well, if you don't know the mechanics of it, if you don't know what's involved with it, don't do it, and I know it's kind of like the forbidden fruit. The more we say don't do it, that makes you want to do it even more, but you gotta resist those temptations. You gotta get some discipline about yourself and resist the things that we are telling you are like certain pitfalls, because if you don't, you're going to find out the hard way that they're pitfalls. I know I did. You know what I mean? So, good point. You gotta
Yeah. Options when it comes to trading, there's the lure of doing something cool and fast and powerful. So it's kind of like learning to ride a bike and then saying, no, you should
I
really
want
be
that
on the
Ferrari.
Well, no, it's like it's kind of like you can learn to ride a bike, but we want to leave you on a tricycle for 6 months first. And people mentally like, well, I'm too proud for that, or that's not cool, or people aren't, they're not taking the tricycle to the 7-Eleven for a Slurpee,
Right.
the
Right.
other kids will laugh. So some of it's pride, some of it's functionality and stuff, but and the other portion of it is when people are told to paper trade to try something out, they instantly feel like they're being pushed aside or poo-pooed or told they're not capable. People's egos get in the way when they're told to paper trade. I'm doing okay with shares. Why would I need to, why would I need to paper trade? I'm like, I'm not a puppy. I don't poop on the carpet, but the reality of it is, I've got a fair amount of time doing it, and in the middle of the afternoon, if there's not something going on, I'll jump in paper trades to test theories, and I will do it a lot because I want to see how something plays out. I want to mess with where I'm setting my stop position. I'll test out straddles and strangles, and all kinds of different things. Or one thing I did before I ever traded one contract of SPY is I bought 10 contracts at the start of the day, and then I went to go see what they were worth at the end of the day. And that's a reality check. It loses 70% in a day. So you got only so much time to get in and out and stuff. And
right.
And I've paper traded shares. Wait
a minute, back up just for a second. Were they SPY? Did you say SPY?
Yeah, I've bought
them and just let them sit.
Yeah, I just bought 10 contracts in my paper trading account and just let them sit to see what they're worth at the end of the day.
Oh wow!
I mean,
that's a good way to do it.
Because you can do those things and it doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
So I bought Tesla contracts on a Monday, out of the money, and just to see what would happen to them, how fast. I bought $5 out of the money, just to see how fast it would turn to dust. And then I bought $5 in the money, and I let them sit for a whole week. And then every day I wrote on a piece of paper, what they were worth and the approximate adjustment and stuff. But just to kind of see, because you can do it without the risk and the different day parts and stuff. But it's kind of like trading shares. If you learn to juggle, that's an accomplishment. I'm just sorry, hand-eye coordination and all. If you learn to juggle tennis balls, that's a skill. It's pretty cool, and you're gonna impress some people. That's like
juggle.
Yeah, it's like trading shares. You learn to juggle, and you can do something impressive. And then if you learn to start trading options, it's kind of like juggling machetes. Still pretty cool, and you've upped the fear factor a lot. And if you F up, you're going to get cut pretty good. If you want to trade SPY options, kind of like juggling chainsaws. You're going to lose a limb financially, if you go in with any sort of weight at all, and when you make and the weight of those decisions is significantly different. That's why people tell people just don't mess with SPY to begin with. Get the shares down. Most of the people that have come through the process and become very, very successful, become millionaires, they've done it all on shares. And it isn't until they've gotten into multi-millions that they've even dabbled with options. And even then, they've respect the process that much, and they know how much weight there is to the decision making, that when you basically you multiply that times 100 or times 10, I mean, you're taking a very small amount of money, and the amount that can change is, I would say, I mean, the risk is times 100. You can gain or lose 2% in SPY in a day. You can gain or lose the entire amount that you put in it in hours, by the end of the day. So you can see, you can watch 30 grand turn to dust in 8 hours time, or you can, so, but that's, it's not that.
Done that?
Yeah. I've actually, to be perfectly honest, I got into a SPY trade, God, probably a year and a half ago. I had about $16,000 in contracts, and it never bounced. So I bought what I thought was the end, the top or the bottom at the time, and then it started acting like it wanted to reverse, and in reality, it was a liquidity sweep. And then it went against me, and by the end of the day, that money literally was gone, just completely gone. So wow. I mean, I can afford to take a hit like that, and it's not awesome, but and the reality of it is that was prior to coming on. I wasn't using stops back then, and it was just par for the course. And you've heard some stories and stuff, and I've obviously done significantly better, on similar trades and stuff, into 6 digits and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's, so in any event, the mistakes, I would say my second biggest one personally, because I'll have several good trades in the morning, and then in the middle of the afternoon, I'll be like yesterday, I was within 10% of my goal for the day, and I really wanted to get in there and grind out that last 10%, and I'm pretty capable of doing it. But then at the same time, I'm thinking, if there's news or something else that goes, I'm just going to start. Right. I could lose that extra 10% instead of making that extra 10%. So it's just better off to, ring the register and maybe test some theories on paper trade, because it was more important to me to not overtrade at this point, because I am disciplined, and take what I got for the day. I would say the other thing I'll struggle with is value traps a little bit. When I see something that dips out pretty significantly, I'll want to grab it, and I'll play the bounces on it, and I know how to do that because I'm a scalper. But there's that temptation to hold on to it, especially like we were watching AI at the end of the day today, and got it, at $18.50 a share. Like, man, I sure would love to hang on to it, but every fiber of my being knows that there's going to be a bounce within 48 to 72 hours. And other than that, they're going to make that company pay for missing their earnings, and it probably will dip out lower. And, do I want to continue to sit in something, based on guesswork, or do I just want to come in the next day and trade what it's doing? Right.
Yes.
So it's like the lure of the low price. God, I just love to grab 1,000 shares of it and let it sit. But then I can do that tomorrow too. Even if it's trading for $1 or $1.50 different, I can still trade the 921 up or down and still make money off of it. But
and you can sleep at night. You don't have to worry about overnight what's happening with it, or I can't do anything to it because I don't have access to it now. I can just watch it.
Yeah, for sure. So there's times when things dip out like that, and I want a part of it. And then I just know that I got to resist that temptation, especially if it's a company that I like, and I know the fundamentals are good and stuff. If I had a broader portfolio of long-term stuff, then, I'm not a hedge fund manager. I'm an intraday person. So, How about you, Ange? What's your biggest temptation?
Hi guys, how are you?
Good. How are you? You're fired up.
What's your temptations, Ange?
That's funny. You should ask, because today all I wanted to do was trade.
Is that a song?
And trade more and more and more and more and more.
Once again, overtrading.
But is it overtrading though if you're doing all the steps that you need to take for it to be a successful trade?
I think there's a support group for that.
Sounds like denial to me.
Denial, rationalization. Is it really overtrading?
I'm gonna leave you with this thought: the more you trade, the more risk you take, no matter how good you are.
True. Yes.
So with
Yeah,
that
I'm
being
just being
said,
funny.
I know.
I'm just being funny.
I know. We know
I'm
you
teasing.
have the discipline, but we got to put it out there for new people.
No. I mean, yes, I am disciplined, but I also, if I see an opportunity, I want to take it, right? And we're not always in a good situation where we can take it. So,
Right.
you know, it's a double-edged sword.
It can be, right? It really can be, especially, and that's another thing that Coach mentioned. He said when you get when you have an account size that actually grows. I mean, sometimes we speak about people who are struggling and they use bill money to trade. You know what I mean? I've been in that position myself. But what about the people who have grown their accounts and now have the excess to be able to trade without the risk of it depleting their account or putting them in the poorhouse? So they're frivolous with it. You know what I mean? Or tend to be a little bit more frivolous than what they would be if they didn't have the amount to be able to do that. So there's risks on both sides. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you got to be careful, because once the account grows, you got to be just as protective of it, if not more, as you were when you didn't have that size. So, but yeah, goal setting, I think, is huge. You know what I mean? Especially just to train yourself. I mean, you don't want to cap your upside and stuff like that, but I think if you start setting goals and just, making sure when you're first starting to trade that you don't overtrade just by hitting your goals, and then, taking a break for that. You can look at it like it's my job to make $50 a day in the market. And I know my mechanics, so once I hit 50, my job is done for the day. I can worry about swinging for the fences later on when I have this process down to a science. But right now, I just want to consistently make $50 a day. That's my job. You get that down, and then you can start doing some of the other stuff. You can start trading longer and
it is so true. That's such a great way to say it too. We hear some of the conversations too. Bring Ted and Mark. I want to make $200 a day, and they had larger accounts to start with, so they could quit their job. You're talking about $50 a day. A long time ago, when I think it was E-Trade came out with $7 trades and stuff. I didn't even think about it on a daily basis. But then once I got into retirement, then I started taking a look, and it's like, God, if even if I just get in and even I've got my ETFs, I've got my holdings, and even if I can squeeze out, like you said, $50 a day, $250 a week, it's $1,000 a month. That could literally buy a luxury car on $50 a day, and I'm not, and then right. I was like, well, I'll just start with, I'm going to do some single shares. I'm going to make $10 or $20 a day, and then that turned into $30 and $40 a day. That turned into $50 a day. Then it turned into $75 a day, and so on and so on. And then next thing you know, those amounts just kept increasing. And I'm like, an average day without much effort was $500. I was like, well, I just got to get in and knock up my 500, and then I can go to the pool. And I was like, man, what am I thinking? It's like, I was even disappointed at sometimes, because you might get that $1,000 or $1,500 day or something. I'm like, man, I just didn't have as good a day, and it was like, it was difficult or whatever. And I started thinking, geez, this started off to be a $50 goal, and that's such a good way to say it, because then when you hit your goal, then you're just done, and then don't overtrade it, and just keep inching that goal forward. It's such a great tactic. It really is.
And it's like, damn it, I just made 400. Damn it, I didn't hit my goal. But it was just $50 like a year ago. And then you're pissed because you just made 4, because now it's been up to 5. When 4 would have been 2, 3, 4 times the amount initially.
So F2, did you have a daily goal, F2, when you started this? I remember like months ago we talked about just trying to not that a percent a day was your goal, but we just talked about having a 1%. If we did 1%, it'd be 1,100% a year, whatever. And then I remember you were just looking. I'm going to have green days and stuff. Did you have a dollar amount or a percent that you were kind of striving for, or was it just to get green every day?
Was my whole at first my whole thing was to get rid of the greed or the fear of missing out, so I wouldn't blow up my account. That was my whole intention, to make sure that I had the discipline to do that. And then I went to, okay, this week I'm going to have more green days than I do red, no matter if it's a penny or if it's $100. I just was going with this day's going to be green. And then after that, I made it. Well, I went 7 days all green. Let's see if I can go how many weeks I can go green. And then once talking to you on the one aftermarket show and Ange about the 1%, and now that's I try to get at least 1% or as close to it as I can. But ultimately, my goal is just to stay green.
Beautiful. And look at you, 8%, over 8% today. Rockstar.
Killing it. Talk to us down in the chat. I know some of you guys have been tempted by some stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just to back on what Palm was saying, just have your goals realistic. I mean, 1% of your account, no matter what size it is, I mean, that's definitely realistic, and keep to it. You hit your 1% and then stop. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to, even, on the position, or, just have those small position sizes so you could build that discipline and consistency with that before you're wanting to get the bigger gains or wanting to get, a certain dollar amount, because, some people start with a really small account and, maybe making $100 is out of that realm, because they, it's all about risk to reward. We got to keep, what we're risking inside of the rules, or inside that 1 to 3%. And if we don't apply it when our account's small, it's really going to hurt us when our account's big. So even with a small account, sticking with that value at risk, or sticking with that risk profile that keeps your account solid. So even if you do have a down day, or if you do have a bad trade, you're not out of the game, and then you could play the next day and keep it going, because it's not going to happen in one trade or 1 day or 1 week. It's definitely something that we have to consistently do, and we'll get better and better each and every day. And just the little base hits, like Coach says, it's all about that base hit. It's all about that 1%, and then just finding that consistency on that.
Yep. Brandon Kazi, I see you down there. Welcome. And I see a couple names that I haven't seen in a while. Chris D, what's up, brother? Welcome. Brandon, once again, thanks for being cool with us, using you in the video. You look awesome in there, dude. Mikey D. Jeanette, how are you? Jeanette McGilligan, thank you for being here. Kekdom, thank you. Ryan M. Let's see. Rosie, I was wondering about you today when the breakout room was going on, because I haven't seen your name in a while. So it scared me for a minute. I'm like, oh, man, where's Rosie? Did we lose Rosie? And here you are. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. Bucko 504, what's going on? Diesel Dan, how are you? We know American Dream Trading runs on Diesel. Trying to find out if I see anything. Gilly, what's going on, brother? If I see anybody talking about anything that's tempting them down. Anybody see anything? Kendrick Bradley, that's a new name. Welcome.
Two sirens in the back.
One of you have sirens.
You hear that?
Is it you?
That's me. That's me.
Is it a tsunami?
No, not quite. I'm close enough to the beach for it to be, though. No, I live near a firehouse. So, gotcha. Yeah, I've got a church right across the street, and probably about 2 blocks that way is the volunteer fire department. So, yeah. Let's see. Okay, now I hear another siren. What the hell's going on? Paul at the beach, what's up, young lady? Joe Pink, how are you? Leonard Jones, a lot of new names down there. Darn Cricket. Just like to say hi to everybody. Special K, how are you? Victoriano, how are you? welcome everybody. Thanks for coming to the aftermarket and listen to us talking about temptations. If you have any you'd like to talk about, feel free to mention them down there in the chat, and we'll try to get the comment, or come on up here and talk on the panel. Don't be shy. All right, come on up here and talk to us. Eminem, what's going on, girl? D-Rock, welcome. PS is down there. Hi, PS. Carlos, what's up, Carlos? We got Thor. Hey, Thor, how you doing? What the hell's going on? Gopher Guy. Oh, yep. What's up, Gopher Guy? Mustang Chris. Mustang, what's happening, brother? Eric Holton. What's up, Eric Holton? Miranda, what's up, honey? How art thou? I've reduced my positions. Now that's good. PS is talking about he's reduced his positions, but I'm finding it difficult to manage my fear of taking losses. Okay, so that's huge. Let's address that one.
What was that again?
Position sizes. He said he's reduced his position size, but he's having a hard time managing his fear of losses. So to me, that's two things. Fear of getting out, because some people don't want to panic sell thinking that they're taking a loss prematurely when it's going to go up, which is creating hopium. You know what I mean? And then some people just aren't getting into a trade at all because they've had so many losses, and they're not taking any chances, even if they've so-called mastered the process, or they at least know what stocks are doing. They still won't get in.
Yeah, that goes a lot back to that conversation we had the other night about like the psychology of trading, and fear and anxiety, and you know, like fear and euphoria creating anxiety and stuff. So that's probably go back and watch that video because we did like a whole hour on that. But yeah, position size to reduce position size. But then if you're still holding positions and to reduce fear, that kind of tells me that that the entry is not being done the way it's taught, and that a position is being held on to well into the red, and it's well out of their comfort zone, and having to cut shares in half to reduce anxiety, versus having taken the entry approach that the ADT trading strategy teaches, and then using a stop loss to eliminate the position before it becomes detrimental. So that tells me that the strategy is not being executed. So at that point, then you got a lot of decision making to do. Do you ride it? Do you trim your position? How long do you hang on to it? And then then you've got that emotional stuff working in the background if you're not a seasoned trader, and then every day waking up having that duress behind your thought process, and then entering into another day of trading, that just kind of compounds and increases the potential for for further frustration, right?
Absolutely. I agree. It's like, sometimes I think, we tend to get into a trade with a small position and use that as a reason for holding on to a trade. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that is not, like Palm said, that's not the strategy. The whole purpose of the small position is so that you're not taking a huge loss, and that if it is a runner, you can hold on to it without getting nervous. But make no mistake, if it starts going against you, just because it's a small position, the process is, if it's going against you, get the hell out of it, whether it's a small position or not. There's no need to lose any money. I don't care if it's a couple of pennies. There's no need to stay in a losing trade just because the position's small. That's strictly there to help you hang on to a trade that you would normally not hang on to, just because the position size is larger, and you're nervous and itchy and scratchy, as David says. But yeah, don't use it to hold on to losing trades.
And
I used to do that.
And don't practice with real money, for God's sake, because
yeah,
you can rationalize taking hundreds of small positions, and getting out of them saying, well, that went against me, and it only cost me 30 cents here or 70 cents there or $5 there. And you can literally whittle away an account. And if you're doing that and you're losing more than you're winning, all you're doing is reinforcing losing trading strategy. So, that's where paper trading needs to come in, and then really listening when you're in the rooms.
Papa Todd's down in the aftermarket. Papa Todd, you're putting in some hours, buddy. Pre-market, aftermarket, the heck's going on? Ted Stryker, what's going on? Dawn, the prisoners are trying to escape. Oh man, Ted, we miss your face up here, buddy. How come you don't come up anymore? Come hang out with us for a little bit.
We need a dose of Ted's vocabulary.
Yes, come on up here with your vernacular. Arlo, I see you down there.
Give us the word of the day.
Yes. And
Put a twist on it and have him give us the Mexican word of the day.
Oh my God.
He probably doesn't know what that is. He doesn't show up for pre-market.
Mexican word of the day is focus. If you get into the trade and you don't know what you're doing and it goes against you, that's a good way they know how to focus.
Never gets old.
Oh man. Oh my God. Remember wait a minute. A Mexican word of the day is harassment. I saw this girl walking down the street and harassment nothing to me. Oh, we get those sometimes in the pre-market. Mark McSee will play those. So shout out to Mark McSee. Wow.
Or fascinate. I ate so much at lunch. My shirt has 12 buttons, and I could only fascinate.
Oh my God, we are not right. Well, at least we don't have a. What's that
oh my
song?
God! Don't do that. Oh.
What the hell?
The worst part of that fucking just
Mark
makes my
McSee plays
skin
this
crawl.
morning song, dude. He plays this Captain Kangaroo type morning song.
Oh no.
Oh, you've never heard it?
I usually jump in somewhere between 7 and 7:30. This morning I was on from like 4 to 5, and then I went about my business and had breakfast and stuff, and then came in later. But so.
Oh, well, you're perfect. You miss it because it's at 6 o'clock.
He must have just missed it because he played it early today.
Okay.
Well, he only played it a few minutes early to catch Freddie off guard. He
I'm
plays
usually
at
not
6.
Yeah, I'm usually not on at 4. I usually come in around between 7:30, and I'm usually pretty quiet in the morning. I just like to sit there and kind of chill and vibe and get my head right and listen to other people.
Mm-hmm. Listen to whatever's going on up in Anybody else have any temptations that they are struggling with? That maybe some new people down in the
I need to learn to breathe.
What, physically breathe and relax, you mean?
No, just like, I don't know. Does anybody ever like catch themselves not blinking or needing
or stomach tensed up?
Or that too.
Yeah, physical responses to anxiety.
Yeah.
So maybe that, okay. Fair enough. I don't do it all the time, but once in a great while, I catch myself like, good God, you need to breathe or blink.
Yeah, I just thought your screen was frozen. I just thought your screen was frozen.
Jen will do that. She'll catch herself where her foot's in a position where it's like clenched or something like that, and she'll wonder why she gets a Charlie horse. And it's like, look at my foot. Look how like I'm like on my toes like this, or we always catch her. It's like, wait a minute, I my stomach is like contracting. Why am I clenched?
Yeah.
So yeah, it does happen. Meditation's good. I know a lot of people may not be into meditation, but if you can learn how to breathe and be conscious of what you're doing in a trade, that is going to help you so much. Just be in the moment and learn how to relax in the moment. And again, put back to position size, that can kind of help train you to do that, So
Noted.
Absolutely, 100% agree with that. Meditation is a wonderful thing.
Love it.
It's a great way to start your day before you even flip on your screen or enter into the Zoom room,
Or even before you get out of bed. I mean, just take a couple minutes, as you're rising, to just lay in bed. And I mean, I've been doing this when I was a kid. I think my grandpa told me, or somebody, I read it somewhere, but just plan out your day. Just run through your mind, plan out your day the way that you want it to be, and in detail. The more detailed it is, the better. But just take a couple minutes, take some deep breaths, and just find that space of calmness and plan out your day. I mean, that's a good way of starting your day. And then and then that manifestation will hopefully you can walk through it and then have a great day. I mean, rather than just getting up and just running to everything and hitting things, head on and not knowing what's going on. So all about planning your day. And the same thing with trading too. Just, I mean, I don't know. I mean, everybody should be doing it, is actually writing down their goals, writing down a trade plan. How do you want to trade? What do you want, what do you want to do? You want to be a scalper? What do you need to work on? What's in your journals that are telling you things that, that you need to start fixing, and actually write it down, whether it's a daily goal or a weekly goal, a trade plan that kind of outlines what type of trader you want to be. But just have these things in the forefront of your mind, and the best way of doing that is actually physically writing them down. It's like another way of manifesting this and getting out in the universe, of actually writing them down, something that you could see, have it something that you update and read, whether it's, having sticky notes that give you a little brief or whatever that is, to remind you through a trade or whatever to breathe or to, wait for the trade. I mean, I got a couple right here. Mine's, wait for the trade, don't overtrade, don't be greedy. Those are
sticky notes. Reminds me of Mustang Chris.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I used to use them when I, to get into meditation, and to remind myself to breathe. I would paste them up around the house, and wherever I was at, I would remind myself of, are you breathing? Are you doing certain things? Breathing is a huge thing. I mean, people, don't really think about it, but if you take intentional breaths and actually breathe, breathe through the nose, exhale through the mouth, it really calms the body down. And that's why they, when people have high anxiety, they give them a bag and they breathe or whatever. But it's the fact of breathing and taking intentional Buddha breaths, and not just using your lungs, but actually taking a diaphragmatic breath. It's gonna bring calmness to the body. And definitely with trading, it is super helpful to lower that anxiety, lower the emotions, and calm things down, so then you could start thinking clearly.
A lot of people, I don't think, realize the importance of that. That's huge. And I mean, you can literally physically feel your body release and just get into a calm state when you have a deep breath like that, and hold it for a little bit and then let it out very slowly. Your body will literally physically get into a relaxed state. It's almost involuntary.
Yeah, when kids are in a panic attack, or anybody's in a panic attack, what do you tell your kids? Take 3 deep breaths.
Breathe.
I mean, it's right there. So
my parents told me to stop breathing. My parents told me to stop breathing.
For long periods of time.
You'll feel better, or we'll feel better.
It'll help, I promise.
Yeah, it'll help.
Oh man, stop breathing. Did they tell you to walk out into traffic too? Like,
oh, until I was 7 years old, I thought my name was Goddammit.
Oh man, you guys are crazy. What would I do without you guys? You guys are nuts.
We are all nuts. God, we are all nuts.
We are, we're addicted, and and I'm glad about that, because I couldn't think of any better people to be addicted to this crazy thing called trading with. You know what I mean?
I would agree.
Yep. Well, does anybody have anything else? If not, I'm going to go ahead and get back to editing a video. Anybody looking at any trades in the aftermarket? Anything running you guys want to take a look at?
I got one question for the panelists. Favorite trade setup, or favorite candle or EWO, favorite trade setup, 30 seconds or less.
Hi everyone.
Hey.
My phone was charging. I wanted to say hi, but I heard you ending it.
Oh, Jen said she wanted to say hi to everybody.
Oh, cool. What do you think,
know,
Dawn?
Okay, so mine is when the 9 is completely separated from the 21. The 21, like all three of them are diverged and above VWAP. That's just
that's your favorite entry spot. Gotcha.
When I see that.
Aaron.
Reversing off of critical levels.
Oh, I like that. I like that too. Ange.
I like a stock that's incredibly volatile and you catch it on the pop, the candle on the pop.
On the breakout?
Yes.
And you do really good at that too. Yeah. You're absolutely slaying those two. You're great at catching those. And you're good at catching them early too.
Yeah. Lots and lots and lots of screen time.
Yeah. F2, what's your favorite setup?
Well, I'm a 2-minute EWO, and I like using the EOMAs to help me make sure I'm staying in the trade long enough and when to get in, when to get out, and using no fear with the EOMA lines. That's my favorite. That's where I've been most successful with. So.
That's awesome. To anybody who's listening who's not on the panel tonight, pick one of the ones that you've just heard and paper trade it tomorrow and just see what happens. Every time that setup occurs, go and buy 10 shares or 10 contracts on your paper trading account and watch and see what happens to it. And just do it over and over and over and see how that works out for you.
What's your favorite?
Yeah, what's your favorite setup?
Favorite?
Pick one. Only one.
I know. It's counterintuitive, but I like when a stock has been working its ass off to get up to resistance, and then I get that monster red candle that slams it back to support.
Yep.
That's one of my favorites. It's also one of the riskiest. But if that support has been holding and I know I can trust it on the security that I'm trading, because the bounce that comes off of that is so quick, quick on a 50% retracement. And then usually what happens is it comes back and revisits. So I'll catch that 50% retracement. It'll come back and revisit it, and I'll get back in it again, and then take the ride to the upside again. So it's pretty much similar to Aaron's, but I'm thinking, that's it. I love that. I love that aggressive drop to a good support level, and then that way I get to play it twice in a very short period of time.
Absolutely. I know that's that critical level I was talking about, whether it's going up or down, but when you know, or when you have those marked out and you build the trust in it. I like taking front side entries on them and just riding all the way down or all the way up.
For sure. And if I've missed a trade and it comes up, and it looks like it's trending out, and I get that first major sell back, where most people will be shedding, I'll wind up going in there too. That's kind of secondary, but my first is those good support and resistance levels for sure, with a tight stop behind it. It's just so low risk, especially if it's been holding out. If it's kind of choppy or sloppy running into those support and resistance levels, it's a lot tougher trading and stuff. But when you get those nice, when it just slams right into the corner like that and you can grab it, it's just so low risk, and then you just wait, and then you just watch the money pile up.
Wow.
So
for you advanced traders out there, yeah, that definitely takes some mechanics and some screen time. But I know what you're talking about. The cool thing is I knew exactly what you were talking about, so I'm getting there.
Yeah. I did that with we were trading a penny stock in pre-market, and or it was getting close. It was around 8:30 in the morning or something. Like coach was in the room, and I was able to get a pretty good bounce on a penny stock that had pulled back. So right at VWAP, it was only it was like a 20 or 30 cent stock. So I put so as soon as it touched VWAP, there was an easy amount there, and I went just a quarter of a cent above it and hit it with 100,000 shares, and basically redirected the stock. And when I did that, it made it bounce pretty hard and shot up, and then a bunch of other people piled on, and that was
just you, market maker.
Within 15 seconds, it was like $2,700. I mean, it's just that quick bounce, and it's like as soon as it went up and just started fatiguing the slightest little bit, I went and just dumped and shoveled the whole thing. But
wow,
yeah, I love those abrupt landings and bumps for sure.
Nice. Wow. Well, guys, I tell you what. Thank you for being here, Palm Coast. This is a couple nights in a row this week. Thank you for coming in here and hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Definitely.
It's always good to hang out.
Always good to have you here, brother. Everybody, F2 and Aaron, thank you for coming and hanging out. Everybody down there in the chat, thank you guys so much for being here, and I appreciate you listening. Don't forget, right now, if you get 6 months of the VIP membership, you're going to get 6 months of gold absolutely free. So now's the best time to go ahead and take advantage of that. Also, what's the other one? It's $250 a month, I think, for the gold. And also, they're doing gold lifetime. If you have a VIP lifetime, Coach is still allowing you to go ahead and get the gold lifetime. He hasn't taken that off the website yet. It's only $5,000. Yeah.
Awesome. That's an amazing deal. Yeah. If anybody hasn't taken advantage of any of the deals, I highly recommend doing it. It's not going to be around forever, and they're going to go fast, and you're going to wish you did if you haven't. So take advantage of it when it's here. Don't wait.
Yep. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put up Coach's rules as I normally do. Everybody go spend some time with your families. If you want to go, there's still a couple hours worth time left in the aftermarket if you guys want to go trade. Other than that, get some relaxation time. Maybe now's a good time to meditate and just take a breather from the day so you can be fresh tomorrow. I'll see you guys in the pre-market, 4 a.m. Eastern Standard. And peace and blessings, everybody.
Hey, great job as always, Don. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Yep. Good night, guys.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Follow the rules. Nobody go rogue. Some of the rules that we have to and live and die by in here is do not lose more than 1 to 3% of your total account value in any given day. Make sure you have stop losses on each and every trade, regardless of shares and or options. Make sure you guys are practicing small base hits. Don't go for home runs. Allow the runners to run and stop out the losers. If you're a new trader, make sure you are paper trading using a simulated trading system such as Webull or some of the other ones that are out there. If you are an expert trader, please make sure you also are being careful the first 3 minutes and the last 8 to 9 minutes of the day. Those are the absolute most volatile times in the entire market. Also, if you're a newer trader, please don't trade in the first 30 minutes or the last hour of the day. Those are the most dangerous times.